One sewing style that I really like is from Japan, and it's called Boro, B-O-R-O. It's this wall hanging in the back where material, little patches are put on, little patches are put on, patches upon patches, and tiny little stitches hold them together. So I've tried to do some of my own. I like the Boro stitch, so I've tried to do some of my own Boro project. This was a very early one. I made a mat for my front door from a sack, a coffee sack I got from my nephew's cafe, and I just ran a cotton thread right across it. I've just washed this a couple of times, and so it's fading beautifully. This is a piece of hemp on top of it. I've got another one that I'm trying to do to get made for my back door, just using another couple, but I've only just started it. That's the sort of a Boro style. But one that I'm actually trying to do is on this coat, Japanese style kimono coat. It's not very easy to see there. And what I'd like to do is, I've got a lot of beautiful, these kind of cotton cloths that I got. And I'd like to take them and put them on this coat. Something like just blue and white, and just take a piece, and put down, or maybe across the back, and then do these tiny wee stitches to hold it on. Just take piece upon piece, just like what they've done in Japan and some of the beautiful museums that I've seen where it's been patch upon patch upon patch. I'd like to do it with this, just using this Boro style. I'd like to do quite a few Boro things, even just a piece that would eventually go up on the wall, just these very, very fine stitches. I've also seen them on some Indian quilts where they've taken old saris, about 5 or 6 of them, very fine old saris, and they've just taken this running stitch all up and down the saris, and it just looks like water when you see it laid out in a bed. I'd like to try some of these. So I like this technique, this Boro sewing technique. I've tried to do quilts for each of my nephews and niece, and now one of my nephews has had his own child, Lucy, so I've asked if I could do one for her bed, just a quilt cover, and I've used some of my fabrics that I bought when I was in Japan. This is actually a noren, the curtain that they put over the front of some of the shops, and it's a beautiful, cute, really cute owl. And then I've put other smaller curtains at the bottom and another one at the top, one of the waves. Then I've also put some little doilies on, and I actually have a whole suitcase of doilies. I've collected doilies over the years, all kinds of doilies I've collected. Large ones that go on tables. I've collected smaller ones with hand embroidery on them. I've collected some just very plain ones like this. I've collected some ones with little people on. I bought some stuff from shops where the women have done it when I've travelled through Asia. I've got some ones that are made out of cotton, ones that are made out of nylon. These are little flowers, all different kinds of flowers. Oh, I've got all different ones here. I just love my doilies. I really like putting these things on, and on the back of Lucy's quilt I'm going to use another one of my woolen blankets. But on this blanket I actually want to dye some little doilies and put them on. Some of them dye really well with things like tea or coffee, but these ones I want to dye two colours, purple and pink. I even have a long piece of lace I could use down the centre or down one of the sides. I've got her birth date, 27th of June 2019. I've even got her name, Lucy. And I've got, these are all Lucy's doilies in the blue basket. I've found some little plants, little pearls, little flowers, all kinds of things I can stick on. Found that in a second-hand shop. So this is a project that I really have to get done soon before Lucy gets too big. And this is Lucy's quilt, this lovely, friendly owl. Yet another project is I found these old 1940s, 1950s men's woolen coats. This is my old coat collection. And what I've done, I just dress them up when I've got them around the house on a mannequin. But this one, I want to put some doilies on it. So I've got lots of my doilies in my suitcase, and I want to dye some of them and put them on. So this kind of thing may go, cut a piece up like this on it, put them all over different places, all different kinds. I've got some little flowers up here. On the back I've got rather a large one that I've actually made into a collar and a scarf, and I'd like to hand sew that on. This one is going to have more embroidery. I've done some embroidery on the sleeve using gold thread. And then I'd like to get some buttons coming out of the pocket and going right round the back. It's a beautiful coat. And just sewing buttons, massive buttons maybe together and then slowly fanning out, so there's just odd ones, so it looks like someone has just taken the buttons and thrown them. And then when I get some ideas, I often just draw them on a piece of paper and then pin them on my mannequin just to let me think about them. This one's been here for about 2 years, and I finally got it started this year. Gave myself permission to have some time, because when there's all kinds of other things to do, this is one of the last things that gets done. I'd like to have some others. I've got some other ideas of what to use. So I hope to have an old coat collection, maybe 5 wearable art overcoats. Again, maybe more than my lifetime, but it really keeps me thinking. Another project I do in my favourite room, the workroom. I love my mannequins, Harold and Archibald.